Hi, Bulldogs. It's Miss Fowler with First Page Friday, here to share with you Every Shiny Thing by Cordelia Jensen and Lori Morrison. It's one of our Junior Book Award nominee books. You can find copies of it in Destiny Discover in ebook format. When the library reopens, we will have copies in the library, and it's also available on Sora. I'm going to read to you a sample from Sora today. Lauren, the hardest goodbye. There's nothing harder than saying goodbye to Ryan. It was hard enough back in August when Mom and Dad first took him to his new school. Back then, I knew I'd miss him, and I was afraid that this fancy therapeutic boarding school, way far away in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina, wasn't the right place for him, even though Rye said he wanted to go, and Mom and Dad kept gushing about what a wonderful opportunity it was. And his old occupational therapist, Jenna, said you couldn't find a better school for a teen on the autism spectrum. But saying goodbye today at the end of family weekend, this was worse. Way, way worse. Because now that I've seen the place for myself and seen Ryan, how Ryan is there, I'm not just afraid it isn't right. Now I know it's not. It was awful. Really, it was. Not the kind of awful that would be obvious right away if you weren't paying close attention. It's actually sort of beautiful, with purple gray mountains in the distance and a long winding driveway and super green hills. The buildings are all new with big windows and soft lights. And there are pretty wood stables with brown and black and reddish horses and vegetable gardens and neat rows of kale and broccoli and beets. But it's awful for Ryan. Ryan's happiest at home, where he has his own calming corner set up in the basement, and his own always tuned piano in the living room, and his own fish tank to take care of. At the school, they let him set up his keyboard in a teeny tiny fish tank in his room, but still, it's nothing like the calming corner at home, which took ages to get just right. And he has to take piano lessons for his art component, even though he likes to play his way, just hearing the notes in his head, not reading music. And he's supposed to help take care of the horses and vegetables, even though he doesn't like getting dirty. Horses and vegetables aren't therapeutic at all when it comes to Rye. That's why he got so upset yesterday when he was taking us around to see the stables and the gardens. This know it all occupational therapist named Scott said maybe Ryan needed some alone time in his room, since family weekend can be a big stressor for students who have just gotten used to their routine at school. As if we were the reason he got overwhelmed, when really we're the ones who know how to help him the best. I was sure Mom and Dad saw how wrong it all was. I was sure they were going to say something this morning when we all went back to Ryan's room after breakfast about how it was good that we'd given it a try, but this wasn't working, so we should just take Ryan home. They looked at each other for an extra long time, and then Dad gave a tiny little nod like he was telling Mom it was time to say it. Mom's eyes were a little teary, as if maybe she felt bad about how wrong they'd been to think Piedmont was a good idea in the first place. But then she reached into her giant bag and pulled out two wrapped rectangular presents, one big and one little, and handed them to Ryan. What are these for? Ryan asked. Dad and I wanted you to have something special, she said. She gave Ryan a wobbly smile, and her voice was way too cheerful for being so brave and independent. We're proud of you, buddy, Dad added. So that's the first little bit of Every Shiny Thing. It's one of our Junior Book Award nominee books. As a reminder, if you read one of the Junior Book Award nominee books, please email me at rfowler@greenvilleschools.us, and I'll ask you a few questions about the book. We can confirm that you read it, and if you read 3 of the Junior Book Award nominee books before February, you'll be invited to a big celebration in the spring. So thank you for listening. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and happy October.